Hey, Oop. Welcome everybody. Even though there's probably nobody in here. Uh, Welcome one and all. Normal. Hopefully we'll be finished with chapter 11 today. I'm way off schedule by at least 2 weeks. Okay, yep, I am off schedule for like a couple of weeks now. Okay. Okay. I am wondering what I'm doing. What am I doing? What exactly am I supposed to be doing? I know it. Okay. It is day, March 17th, 6, just after 11:30 a.m. Going to see about finishing up those pages today. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and do the thing. Favorites. We're gonna start this up, and I might update to the latest version of Redot when I get this pass done, which is supposed to be by March 31st. I'm not sure if I can do that. See, I got chapter 12 and chapter 13, then 15, 16, 17, and 18. I actually got 6 chapters, which means if I want to go by the deadline, I need to have at least 3 chapters done. Oh, happy St. Patrick's Day, by the way. And I guess I'm wearing green. It's greenish, sort of. I mean, it's not green, but it's green. So at least there's that, huh? Anyways, anyhow. Yep. And it looks like, uh, what was I gonna say? In the vein of a little too much information, I had soup with cabbage in it, so I'll probably be needing a bathroom break somewhere along the stream, probably. But we'll see, we'll see. And I'm still dang behind. And let me think for a moment. Okay, what did I put in here? Takes the left passage past the library until the hallway ends. He doesn't see any entrance, but notices four sconces on the wall beside him. He remembers each set of rhyming lines and figures four lines for four sconces. He also knows one of them says firstly involves, and the other one he remembers says finally at the end. Roland says to himself, it can't be that easy. Maybe I should reverse them. Now, you can use the correct order. It's just going to be the correct order. So, there wasn't like really a real thing about there wasn't a thing about what was I going to say? Oh yeah. Okay, so in essence, now I do have the three books, but because I have the two lines at the end that tell you that you're supposed to follow in order for the sconces, that so each of the four lines are actually in two books, so it's in two chunks, and so they're in the right order, and you can pretty easily discern the correct order, right? Unless I decide, I don't know, is there a way to fix it to where I don't have to put the order in there? But I only have three books, see? Yeah. No, I'll just leave it like this. You know, the puzzle will be the puzzle when I get to the actual puzzle part of it. I'll have them. I don't know. Maybe I'll have more books, and I'm not sure. Um, library entry. Actually, I was thinking about the whole order thing and the fact that this isn't much of a choice. Use the incorrect or the correct order. In reality, the order should only be dictated by the smugglers, by the things a great smuggler needs. Um, so they have to make a mental leap. This would probably necessitate for extra books. Extra books. Maybe it wouldn't be 5, right? It'd be 4 because we have 4 riddle lines. And then maybe a fifth. digits instead of 3. And I mean 4 for each riddle line, and the 5th to tie it all together. But we're sort of at a premium for screen space. Which is kind of why I don't so it's four deals, 4 different deals. Do that. The full puzzle later in the parser plus phases. I can do all of that. So I guess I'll have to settle with limiting it here. Until I get to the point of putting in actual puzzles. I'm just talking myself into doing it, I guess. God, the current setup is basically guess the order with the riddle as a soft guide, but no real mental leap or deduction beyond spotting the numbers. We'll give a proper adventure puzzle depth. Player has to infer why the smuggler chose a sequence, specifically making the correct order feel earned rather than arbitrary. Phase 1 text only. Screen space page count is the hard limit, so expanding to 5 books, 4 plus 1 tying book would explode the compressed patterns and likely push past your comfort zone for this phase. Smart call to settle for the current limited version. It keeps the page below bound, gives light agency, interest order. Still mimics the full puzzle's trial and error fallback. In later phases, you can spread the clues across 5 books. Add the smuggler needs log it. First the lookout, then the distraction, then the grab, and finally the escape, or whatever. Make the order meaningful. Wrong sequences trigger flavor fails, like lookout spots you first, or distraction too late. For now, riddle as a number hint is functional, keeps the momentum if you want to squeeze in one tiny extra beat without page explosion. You can plant one order seed without adding much text. I'll just finish. It's just 2 more pages anyway. He's going to okay. Okay. So we're gonna add the 2 pages first. So let's just okay, so these are the correct order. The incorrect order would be these 2. So let's go ahead and add 2 more pages, plus and plus over here and over here. Now this one is page 35. So we need 36 and 37. So let's go ahead and copy, paste. And we're going to say this is 36. And we're going to call this, can't be this easy. They say this easy or the wrong order. I'll just go ahead and wrong order. That this is wrong order, like that. Over here, okay, so we're gonna copy this, copy, and we're gonna make this 37. We're gonna make this right order. We're gonna call this right order, like so. And then let's go ahead and grab the chapter name. Pretty easy. Copy, paste, paste. And then let's go ahead, and this is the right order, so we're going to copy the ID. Copy. Oh, we're going to do this differently. This is the door to the Mines of Sadness. Let's copy that. Copy. And we're going to put this in here. Paste. And we're going to do the same thing over here. Paste that. And then we are going to copy the right order. Copy. No. Let's go up here and let's go ahead and hit paste in here. Call this 2. And then we will copy the destinations. So we're going to copy this ID, wrong order, copy. Wrong order is number 1. Control V. And then we're going to copy the right order. Copy. Control V. Wrong order, right order. 36, 37. Okay, good. The room data. There we go. We might have them at the bottom. One more page, maybe. We'll see. I guess the going into, and what does it say? The Mines of Sadness. While in there, see, and then this is gonna. Okay, so we're gonna do the right order first, kind of on purpose, and that is that we're gonna do this. Hit 1 to continue. Nothing here yet. I'm gonna put our first thing. So the right order. Roland notices the what's that thought? Let me think for a second. No, he would have to figure it out, and he would still figure it out, so it kind of doesn't matter. The two odd lines out. Okay, let's open my notes. Okay. Lines out. Recognizing the birches along the wall. Figures this must be the entrance. Actually, that can be in the same line. Because this must be the entrance. Then he turns his attention to the other four middle lines. Firstly, involves pigs, goats, and bears. Three pigs, three Billy, and three bears. So 3. All things being equal. Three bears. Three bears. Three little pigs. Three goats. Rough. Okay. Then all things being equal, like the sides of all squares. Four sides to a square. Four sides to a square. Next, elbows and knees that bend at the joint. Two elbows and two knees. Bend at the joint and find the summit on a sharp single point. Finally, the summit at a sharp single point. 1 point. So, with 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 2, 1. So 2, 1 must be the correct order to pull on the sconces. Okay, we'll here. Roll in. Pulls out sconce in this order. 3, 4, 2, 1. And a crack forms around the door. The door slides open into a tunnel beyond. Okay. Okay, that's good. This is the correct way. So this is the correct order page. No stalactite pattern needed. It says page roll. The detection flows logically. A line sets order theme. 4 lines parsed. Numbers inferred. Object mapping to sconce positions. No force branching or stalactite needed. Here's the keeps phase 1 past brevity. One small constructive note on flow and readability. The riddle recap is a bit dense in prose form. If it's meant to be Roland's internal thoughts, consider breaking it into shorter lines or bullet-like beats for punchier text delivery. Pigs, goats, and bears. Then all things equal sides of squares. 4 sides. That it's probably right. I mean that if I did it this way, it would help. Yes. To each finally summit into a single sharp point. 1. That means how a player might mentally list them. Yeah, actually, it makes it shorter too. Um, okay. Let's see. Pigs, goats, pigs, goats, bears. Three bears, three pigs, three goats. Okay. So three billy goats. Three billy goats. Okay, like that. All sides being equal. Sides of squares. Four sides to a square. Elbows. Knees. Uh, two. I guess two of each. Each. Finally, sharp single point. Finally, sharp single 1 point. Tell me, okay, good. Okay, that's save room data. Now I need to write the incorrect order page. It just means he does them in the wrong order and nothing happens. Give me a moment to finish. Okay, so right, so let's go ahead and copy this. Copy. And we're gonna put it in here, except we're gonna reverse them. Figures. Figures the putting the gate can't be this easy, so he swaps the each two line set. Two one three four 2 1 3 4 4 and nothing happens. Why was this easy? And he puts them in the correct order, and the secret entrance finally opens. Okay. Copy. Save. Save room data. Here. Actually, let's clear this out. Clear that out. Here's the wrong order page. Slightly longer, but does the trick. Gets the job done, shows the player here. Try the swapped pairs, fails safely, autocorrects, success. Reget feels a little bit repetitive of the correct page. The page count is tight. You can trim the repeated riddle. Breakdown. He just swaps the pairs. I'm going to leave this. So, it's okay. It doesn't be perfect. It is just the event pass. So, I'll figure out if I want to make it completely worded differently when I try to make it work relatively there. How this work? Okay. I need one more page, just a generic. He travels along the passage into a grotto that seems deserted, sort of like the other entrances. Okay. It's still deadly based. Meaning descriptions and so forth. Just events. You don't even have to write it. I'll spin that up in a jiffy. Okay, so now we need one more. We're going to add one more room down here. the underground river. And then this one is secret entrance, the smuggler's gate, the secret entrance. Smuggler's passage. Let's call, okay, so I'll call that smuggler's passage. So what I'll do here is I'll copy, then I'll go into here, paste. We're gonna make this 38. And make this smuggler's passage. Make it smuggler's pass just to that. And then we're going to copy the chapter. Okay, and then we're going to take this and copy that, put that into the door here, door specs, paste, paste. Okay. Then we're going to copy smuggler's pass here, copy, go into here into the door, and we're going to replace this. Okay, let's go ahead and copy that, go over here, and we'll hit paste here, Control S, say room data, smuggler's pass. Now, here, actually, let me go ahead and open this up. Exit into an empty grotto. What does this one say? Okay. One travels through the passage nothing of nothing of note happens as he makes it into an empty grotto. Hit 1 to continue. Okay. The room data is actually scene, reload, save scene. In a sense, there's almost no reason to actually put this in here because there's nothing that happens here. However, actually these follows the underground river. This one and honestly these probably shouldn't have the end of it should actually be it's a little bit off, a little bit, yeah. Let's see, let me think of something here real quick though. Maybe I could nah, I'll just leave it. It's okay. It's kind of a more or less empty. The extra page is more or less empty. It's because a lot of the work is done in the actual wall sconce page. It just says he travels down the passage and ends up in an empty grotto. But I'm going to go ahead and leave it for sake of completeness. Um, um, so next up is chapter 12, and I just need to put simple decision points in it. Honestly, it shouldn't be even as hard as chapter 11. So I'll do that in a few minutes, probably, or at least start it in a few minutes. Big last minute rush to get released together for test department tomorrow. Right now, I'm just sitting about waiting on PR. I have this PR mechanism in place. No procedure to assign PRs to staff, and then also say we need it out by tomorrow. Oh, well, do the best. Let's say that it goes quickly and smoothly for you. So, I don't even know, but you know who he is over there in the UK. He's having a bad day at work and have to have stuff for tomorrow. They need everything ready and he can't do anything. Make it go smooth. I mean, who knows? If you make it go smooth, maybe they'll ask me about, you know, my prayer and stuff. So I forgot I'm even on stream here. I'm actually praying on stream. Okay, whatever. It looks like Ricky's kind of having a hard day at work, and I won't say that much more than that. I mean, it's just an RC, but anyways, I was just praying that he had a smooth day going forward and whatever. So I'm just gonna go ahead and leave it in here, just because that's who I am. I'm a Christian, so if I say a prayer and I say a prayer on stream, so be it, right? Anyways, right now though, I need to. Oh, what? Now they have a different stupid kick. Um. Anyways, I was gonna pray kind of silently, or actually, I need a bathroom break, so I would have muted my audio for a second. But anyways, it's all good. Whatever. Um. Okay, so let me pull up. See the be right back thing. Um. My mic's still on. Yeah. Okay, so I'll be right back. I gotta use the facility, so I'll just be a few minutes. Okay, I'm back. Maybe I also rushed like crazy and then I don't review the work. No. Okay. Not. Yeah. I guess. I'm sure you're good at. Uh. Okay. So. All right. Okay. Let's go. Okay. So. It looks like it looks like I got chapter 11 done. So 11, I can count 11 is done today. Finally. So that's about 60%. That's about 60%, isn't it? Okay. Awesome. So we have 11, 11 and 14. So we actually have 12 done. 12 out of 20. 60%, I guess. 60%. Let's here, let me pull up. Do I have the thing in here? Is it in the other thing? You know, the thing and the other thing and then the other thing. Let's go into it's not in there either, is it? Um Documents? Where's the progress? Where did I put the progress daily? I'm reading favorites. Oh, adventure game progress. Okay. First pass progress, 11. So we got 12 out of 20 chapters, which is about 60% finished. Second pass project progress, nothing. Phase 1 progress, 2 passes, 27.5% finished. 60. I've been streaming for about an hour now. Finished chapter 11. Gotta start 12 here in a few minutes. Break in 30. Okay, so phase 1 progress. So 50% would be 25%. 55% is 27.5. That's so 2.5%, right? 2.5%. So this would be 5%. So this is going to be about 30% finished. I'm just going to say that as an estimate. 30. We'll do the thing here. We'll do the about whatever that, the Tilly character or whatever. It's not Tilly. Is it Tilly? Tilly. Right? Yeah, Tilly. 18 phases. Okay, how do I do this again? the percentage wise. Let's see here. 100% divided by 18, which gives each phase 5.55%. Times 30%, 0.3. That's not right, is it? Okay, clear it. So 18, see, so 12 chapters out of 18 is approximately 60% done, right? How does that work? How does 66.67% work? Twelve divided by 18, rounded 2 decimal. 18. Not right. Multiply by 100 for a percentage. Oh, I'm still thinking of 20, ain't I? I'm not thinking of 18. 9 would be. I'm still thinking of when it was 20 chapters. Now down to 18. So about 66% then. I'll round it up. Okay. Let me do something though. 100 divided by 18 equals, no, divided by 1/8. Okay. And then times 12, 56, which is true. Actually, it does round up. It does stop. 666. Oh no. I better round it up to 67. 7%. Okay. So what does that make? Phase 1 then. I have 2 passes. Won't have 2 passes in the near future though. In later phases. Okay. %. Pass 2 is 0% completed. And that makes pass 1 at 67%. Phase 1, total chapters for Phase 1, 18. Completed 12 in a pass, 67% of pass 1 done. Pass 2, 0, you haven't started. So overall, Phase 1 progress. So roughly a quarter of the total Phase 1 percentage, or about half the percentage of pass 1. %33.5%. Huh. Okay, so we're going to say 67. In fact, we're going to do this roughly thing. We're going to say roughly or about 34, approximately 34% finished. Okay, that being the case, huh. So now with 18 phases, about what's the percentage total? We're 33.5%. Okay, let me see this for a second then. Let's do this. I know I shouldn't be wasting my time here, but let's look at this here. Mad Art Lover. Hello, Mad Art Lover, if you're still there. I didn't notice you because I didn't have the window up. I'm just trying to calculate the percentage that I'm done with my game, and so I don't know if you've ever watched anything about this, if you know anything about my game or not. It's yeah, okay, cool. Right. So I don't know if you know anything, if you're new here or whatever. Okay, cool. Okay, so let's see if I can shorten this, because there's a lot of crap to tell you how I got to this point, anyways. But basically, I am making an adventure game. Okay, so eventually it's going to be a regular point and click adventure game, right? Like you play in the early to mid '90s. They've made it somewhat of a resurgence lately in the last 10 years or so. But but uh, this is kind of involved. I have a like a whole bunch of characters. You know, everyone has a story arc, and there's a whole lot of stuff going on here. To be able to wrap my head around building this thing, which I've tried to build for several years now. Um, I divided up into phases, essentially iterations. So I said, what's the most basic form of adventure game you can make, which is a choose your own adventure. And so that right now, that's the form of the game is right now. Essentially, and I'm using this is a Redot engine, which if you've ever heard of the Godot engine, Godot was at version 4.3 when the Redot guys forked it. So essentially, this is exactly like Godot 4.3, but it's with this red theme, red color scheme, red and black, or red and gray, whatever. So basically, the story is it's read about Redot once. Okay. Oh, good. And actually, Redot's actually up to what they call LTS 26.1, which is corresponds to like the year and the quarter of the year, whatever. So it's functionally equivalent to Godot 4.5, but I'm using 4.3 because I've just been using this and I haven't needed to upgrade or anything. But anyways, the story involves a magic kingdom that's turned to tourism in order not to tax its citizens, and but it's fallen on hard times lately. There's a how do I say this? It's a resort, so basically a vacation resort for like ridiculously wealthy people, right? And so you can live out your fantasy of being a dragon slayer or a wizard or a fairy godmother, right? And lately it's fallen on hard times. The kingdom was sold to a third party by the current king. The current king's acting all weird and whatever. So he sells the resort to this guy, and the guy immediately closes everything up, including all the restaurants, all the hotels, all the experiences, the night school. Okay, so it's divided into four parts. So you have the part where you can be learn to be a knight, right? And then you can learn to be princess or fairy godmother or wizard. And they're like four schools, and most of them are closed up. They're training the knights with real weapons now. Um, Even the dragons, when you went on a vacation to like slay a dragon or whatever, there it was all in fun, right? Like when you go to a theme park. So so now the dragons are starting to act bad, torching villages and stealing sheep and that sort of thing. And people are start disappearing. And it's rumored that a wizard that was once banished has returned. And so the king's advisor and his best friend notices something is up and realizes he needs to find somebody from some other realm to help, someone from outside, right? That helps to help him figure this out. So he brings John. John is from our realm, and he sends John to Princess Prep and Night School, and then he himself goes to Wizard U and Fairy God College to see what's going on. And um, there's a princess, a visiting princess. She was going to give a lecture at Princess Prep, and she got kidnapped. And they find out that this wizard that was once banished has actually returned, and he essentially took over the kingdom basically, and he's building this giant machine that's going to open portals to all tons of different realms and be able to march armies through so he can conquer all of them. And so that's basically the basic premise of the story is them trying to figure out what's going on and how to save the kingdom. So um, and so what I'm doing is I'm doing a basic choose your own adventure kind of version of the story right now because it's kind of like the simplest thing that you can do. All you have is you have decisions, and here I'll even show you how it works. Here, I find each time I explain the thing, it gets harder and harder for me to explain it for some reason, some weird reason. I get get anxiety and stuff sometimes. And so I get real self-conscious, and so I start stuttering and whatever. So you have to bear with me while I yeah. Okay, so anyways, let's go into okay. Here, I'll just read this little short thing. Should explain it better than I did. It's all right. It's just the way I am. Sometimes I'm completely fine when I'm streaming and talking about my stuff. I have no problem. Occasionally I'll get a little flustered, a little like a stutter and stuff, whatever. Okay, so welcome to Enchanted Lands. Take a magical vacation. Slay a dragon, rescue a princess, become a great and powerful wizard, or stay at one of our many fine hotels. Anything that is possible. At least that's what the brochure says. Enchanted Lands' magical resort kingdom is not doing so well. The king seems to be acting strangely, and Enchanted Enterprises have been bought out by Enchanted Holdings Inc. Administration has closed the various magical training schools, and a dark presence has returned from Menace Realms. Is there no one that can solve these mysteries? Will schools ever reopen? Will there ever be any more stupendous vacation deals? And then I have this thing. Stay tuned. Okay. That was a little intro. Enchanted Magical Lands Magical Resort was sold to a mysterious figure by the ruler of the kingdom. This figure named Max has systematically closed down most of the resort. Many people have disappeared, including both citizens and tourists, and ever since the king closed down the resort, he's been acting strangely. Chief advisor and friend to the king was the wizard Hubert. After seeing him, goes home to prepare to get external help. Okay, so basically, I sorted these in the chapters, but I'll explain that in just a second here. But let's just go through. Okay, so Hero puts on 3 magic hats on his desk, where he also sits a large box, which almost looks like a safe, a little door. On the front of the box, there's a small label which reads Magic Mailbox 001 of 100, property of Halfway Hubert. And there's a reason he's called Halfway, and that's because he had half of his magic stolen, and it literally manifests itself as half magic. So whenever he casts a magic spell, it only goes halfway, which means you don't know what half is going to mean. You know, you could try to teleport something and only half of it shows up, or it could only go half the way, and so it's lost forever. That sort of thing. So hit 1 if you wish to use the magic mailbox. Hit 2 if you wish to use a spell or 2 to send John a silver ticket. So if I hit 2, then some more things. So that's basically the way the game works, and that's all this is. These little 3D boxes here in the background are just something I thought I should put it in there because at some point in the future I was thinking I might put some 3D stuff in it, but the way Godot works and the way Redot works is being a node-based system. If you know how to do it in 2D, you know how to do it in 3D, and so I don't really need this. But I haven't changed it because I'm actually actively working on the game. Okay, so now that's the actual game itself, and then this is, of course, the Redot editor. Just like Godot, you can write plugins, do stuff. The save room data, whenever I make a change to any of the rooms or any of the pages. Okay, let me explain this so that it doesn't sound confusing. Eventually, these are going to be rooms like locations, like in an adventure game system, right? So you have a location, you have a room, you know, you have the hallway, you got the living room, whatever. It's going to act like that eventually. But right now, since I'm just doing Choose Your Own Adventure, they're just pages. So it's a room class, and so sometimes I say rooms, sometimes I say pages. It basically refers to the same thing. So I'm building these in the editor, and the way that these save here, let me open this up. Let me open the rooms page. Okay, so these are JSON files, right? And I'll just open one up. JSON has an ID, title, chapter, description. This is the actual text you see. In fact, you have to put in the choices in the description, or else they won't be able to see it to use it. Doors are essentially little structures that have an ID, your choice, which is actually as a string, but it's actually a number choice, and the destination is just basically the ID of the next page that you're going to, or the next room, you might say. Okay, so these are all JSON files, and so I needed a way to add them, remove them, edit them. So everything's exposed in the inspector, and so I can, and then of course this is this is a single description. So like hit 1 to continue, hit 0 to quit, that sort of thing. Okay, and so right now I just finished up what I call chapter 11. Okay, so the reason for the chapters is I basically took my story, the whole story, including all the character arcs, and I put them in what I would call an event list. So it's just events. It's just like they go here, they open this door, they look around, whatever. They're just what they do. It's just a bunch of events. And so I was busy putting in decision points, which is the choices that you see, right? But it was just taking forever to do this. I had 93. I've heard of I heard Protobuf are faster than JSON. Have you ever heard of it? No, I have not heard of it. To build in Protobuf when you compile the game, I've never heard of it. Maybe I'll look it up if you think it's something worth doing. If it's faster, it might be a good idea. But this works for me right now, and I can fairly understand it fairly well right now, so that's why I'm doing it. But I'll take a look at it. Protobuf. Okay. Okay, so what was I saying? Oh yeah. So I started doing this. In fact, I have the old version. Actually, let me show you the old version. I can show that to you right now because it's actually. Here, let's go back to favorites. Let's start a new instance, and let's go to older projects. Be fast for your game, 60% boost. Okay, I'll look at that. Okay, so this is my original version. Now, if you look here, if you see all of these nodes, all of these pages or rooms, it looks like a lot, but really that represents only about 17%. Okay. Here, I'll let's see something here. Let's open a new window. This is a standard window, right? Okay. Here. Proto buff.dev. There we go. Protocol buffers. Okay. I'll go ahead and what? Am I in Firefox? Let's forget Firefox. Here, I use Firefox just in case Brave starts acting up or something. Okay, fine. We'll go new window here. And there we go. And then I can bookmark it. Paste and go. Let's bookmark it. Let's put it in Enchanted Dev, that's fine. Okay. Yeah, I like Brave just for various reasons. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's based on Chromium. It's obviously not Chrome, but it's based on the code base. It works fine, just like any of them. It's got built-in ad blockers and stuff. I actually still use like uBlock Origin, but I have both the Brave shields on and that. They also have a thing where they award you what they call BATS, basic attention tokens, which are like a cryptocurrency of their own kind, and just for like looking at ads and stuff. And but otherwise, yeah, it's pretty good. Yes, I'm on Linux Mint. I used to be on Windows 10. I used to be on Windows like for everything, all the way back. Trying to move Nix OS. Well, I haven't tried many different flavors of Linux or other Unix-based deals. I mostly used Mint because it's easy to go from Windows to Linux that ways. And so far so good. I mean, I haven't really had a real problem. Most of the games I play are really old, if I do play games, and I haven't played actually played games in a while now. Okay, so yeah, so this basically represents about 17% of the total thing. Like, uh, so that's a lot, and it took a long time. It took, we'll say 8 or 9 months, because the first couple of months I was putting my notes in the computer and stuff. So I didn't actually do like the event list and everything. But once I started putting the decisions in, it was just taking so long. So what I did was I sort of rebooted. I went back to the original 93, uh, approximately. I've been doing this since Thanksgiving of 2024. It's just this iteration, just this version. I've tried starting it many times and kind of fail at building this game. This is actually the furthest that I've gotten here. But so what I did was I grouped event lines together into what I call story beats, and then about 4 or 5 story beats to a chapter, basically. And I divided it into chapters. I originally had 20. Yeah, I mean, this part's not that hard. I'm really trying to get this. Okay, so what I call the first pass, I call this the event pass. Basically, it's they do this, they do this, they do this. It's just a list of events, right? Like I showed you here. Well, Secrets of Goblin Town. Roland reads the back cover to Underhill's Secrets of Goblin Town. That's a reference. I'm gonna pack this thing full of references and stuff. Beneath the mountains lies Goblin Town, a winding maze of tunnels best avoided by sensible travelers, yet the wanderer, known as Underhill, records his passages through these dark halls, describing hidden ways, goblin strongholds, and curious secrets of the deep places of the world. Okay, this is basically just a blurb for like a travel book. Thumbing through it, you realize there's nothing that's going to help him here. So it's just basically he reads the back cover, he thumbs through it, and that's just an event. It's not like a narrative, right? It's not like he walked into the dusty room like nobody had cleaned in here for several years, and there's chairs stacked up to the ceiling, and it's there's no narrative to it. It's not like doesn't read like a story, right? So I'm shooting for the end of March. It probably end up going into the middle of April to actually finish this first event pass. And like I said, I'm doing it in phases, which means that with each phase, I'm gonna modify the engine slightly, and then I'm gonna expand the story a little bit, so add some more choices, more things. My next phase actually has it to where I separate the directional choices from the actual choices. If you're going north, you're going to there's a saloon on the left side and a bank on the right, and a church up north or whatever. That would change into northeast and west directions to go there, and it won't be part of the choices themselves when I do that. And then I'll do something else later that turns them into rooms, and then so it'll be a bunch of if else in simple programmer terms. Basically, that is basically what it is. In fact, let me show you the script here. It's actually fairly simple to follow if you can actually see it on the screen. I did increase the size a little bit because somebody was complaining not being able to see the code at all. This is just a room class here, and this loads data from the JSON file for the rooms basically. Greetings. I don't know how to pronounce your name. Not found here. Something not found here. Druve. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Yeah. It's GD script. Since it's a fork of Godot, it's using GD script. They actually the Redot guys have actually they're building a new engine, a completely new engine, from the ground up with what they learned here, I guess. At some point, I don't know. They said they're going to continue maintaining both code bases. So for the time being, I'm still using this. When that other engine becomes functional enough, maybe I'll switch. Who knows? Maybe I'll be done. Maybe I'll quit along the way. Who knows? Right in GD script. I want a suggestion. So I'm currently making a game in Unity 3D, hyper casual puzzle like, but have some same lights, camera, and background, but obstacle and platforms change place to make it hard. So I'm making 100 plus levels for web and mobile. So thinking I will 100 scenes. So this will be much stuff. Takes some time. What can I do? I'm beginner to Unity. Never made a game over 10 levels. I don't really know what to tell you. I don't have a problem with somebody wanting to make a huge game, so I'm not going to tell you not to do it. Both for them, not really feasible to maintain 2 engines at once. Too much. I suppose they're doing it though. I mean, they've got their first version of their new engine. At least I know there's some ways with it. Anyways, it actually exists and it's functioning. Um, I want to take so much. So what can I do? As far as your, I still don't know how to pronounce that first part of your name. Dhruv, not found here. Dhruv, Dhruv. I'm not sure if that am I supposed to pronounce it, or is it what that is, or if it's like a something other than English. Um, the only thing I can suggest is to break it up into small pieces. Break it up into 10 levels each, and do a chunk, and just basically start. Make sure you have at least one level done. The whole vertical slice thing, basically. So making sure it's a complete deal with one level, and then kind of work from there. I mean, there's not much to say with what you need help with, unless you can find somebody else that knows Unity well enough to help you make it, basically. So I'm not really sure. If you finished some games before and this is just bigger, just think of it as a bunch of like several small games, and that'll just help get your mind around it. Anyways, I need to get back to my thing here. Oh, it's 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock is my break time. That means I have to. Okay, so before I was doing them in like 3 and 4 hour chunk streams, and I take a break, and because I didn't have a regular time that I did it, sometimes I would come back, half an hour to an hour later, and then anybody that was in watching the stream would just leave and they wouldn't come back because, who knows? Who are you? Oh, John Rivers. There are two guys in on Twitch. So I'm actually multi-streaming to YouTube, Rumble, Twitch, and Kick right now. And so I'm actually talking to a couple of guys in Twitch right now. So sorry if it sounds one little bit one-sided. They ask a question. See here, let me show you Social Stream Ninja here. It's got all the stuff up here. So like you're not gonna see if you're not on those other platforms, you're not gonna see half of the conversation. So apologies for that. Yeah. I put everything off screen basically, except for my actual work. Anyways, guys, I'm sorry to everybody, but I gotta take a break, and then I'll be back in an hour. My breaks are an hour. I usually do a 90-minute stream, take a break for an hour, do another 90-minute stream. Mad Art Lover wanted to say hello. He says hello, John. Okay. Yeah, so anyways, if you guys are still interested, I'll be back in an hour. It's essentially part two. So I call it an episode, and so I'm on episode what am I on right now? I'm on 272, right? 272. So 272 part one right now. So I'll be back in an hour. If you see me on there, John Rivers says hi back to you, Mad Art Lover, with a little here. I'll just show it briefly on the screen before I stop the stream. Okay. Anyways, see you guys later. If you're, show up around, and thanks for stopping by, and stop by whenever you see me on. And I'll talk to you later. I'll talk to you about an hour if you decide to come back. Okay. Thank you for watching part 1.